Alright, I've been wanting to do this video for a while. Here I am. I want to show how to read coverages, but a little bit more advanced. Not so much where it's a pre-snap thing, but a post-snap reading of the defense. This is a little bit different because, like you can see on the bottom here, I put coverage shell as a cover 2, right? So if I do that, no matter what I pick for a play here, it's going to look like I'm coming out in a cover 2. So if you think that I'm coming out in a cover 2, but I'm really coming out in a cover 4, for example, that might mess you up because you might audible to a play that will be a cover 2, but then after you hike the ball, you realize, no, it wasn't a cover 2. So how are you able to figure this out? That's what I want to show you here. So with can't start with a cover 2 because we're in a cover 2 shell. But what we could do is go to a cover 4 real quick, and then we're going to pick a cover 2 here. Let's just pick, like to spread things out. Don't really have a spread. There we go. Like this.
Here we go, here we go.
Let me respot the ball. A little too close there, just in case we gotta let things develop.
Here we go.
Alright, so when you look here, it looks like a cover 4, right? The way the safeties are and the way the corners are, this looks like a cover 4, right? Because that's the shell I'm in. But when you look at the defense, show the play art, I'm in a cover 2, right? So that could trick you, especially if you're like, you know what, I have a play that beats cover 4, and you audible to it, and then after you hike the ball, all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, things are different. Well, this is how you're going to tell. You watch the safeties. So when I hike the ball, if this was truly a cover 4, those two safeties are going to be staying in that general area they're in. They might come down a little bit, they might back up a little bit, but they're generally going to stay in that area, right? They're not going to move too much. But if, for example, since this is a cover 2, watch the safeties. They're both going to spread up and out as soon as I hike the ball. So watch the safeties.
Side.
Just throwing it up just to end the play.
On one.
Alright, so replay here. You see how the safeties, they go up and they're not going out too much, but they're supposed to be going out, but they stay spread like that. That's where you can see it's a cover 2. I guess because of this play, you cannot tell that it's actually cover 2 too well, because those two slot guys are coming right at the safeties, so they're going to play them, right? They're going to play them. But you can see how they stay spread out and they're backpedaling. Let's go to a cover 4 to show you how it would be different. All right, if this was a true cover 4,
Right.
let's do palms. Again, we'll do the same play here.
Here we go, here we go.
All right, so now when you look at it, it looks like a cover 4, and now it is a cover 4. But watch the safeties now.
Side.
You see how they kind of stay put?
Here.
You see how they don't really move anywhere. They took a step back, but they're watching, right? Because in a cover 4, those safeties, they have run support duties, and they're ready to jump pass routes, like digs and things going over the middle. They're ready to do that. And if anybody comes their way, they'll take them in man coverage. As you can see here, they double up on the 2 streaks here, right? So you can see the difference there with the cover 2. They were just backpedaling. This one, as soon as you hike, they kind of hung around and waited to see what was happening first, to see if it's a run, to see how things develop, and then they take on their duties, right? And that's the same thing if you do a cover 4 palms or a cover 4 drop. You're going to see that basic same thing with the safeties, right? And but there's another thing here. If we go, we'll stick with the cover 4, and we do a cover 2 man. It's going to look like, if you watch the safeties, you might think, oh, this is a cover 2 zone.
Gun. Sahad.
So we hike this here.
Sahad.
See the safeties kind of drop back in the same way as in a cover 2 zone,
Here we go.
right? Look at the replay just so you can see that for yourself. Go over it again. We can go through it slower. Man, I hate how that thing jumps. You see they start backpedaling. If those 2 slot guys weren't coming right at them, they would spread out to the outside. But they stay right over there, just keep dropping back, right? And it looks like, if you're just looking at the safeties, you're going to say, oh, this is a cover 2 zone, because that's what they did before. But no, now it's actually cover 2 man. You see how those guys follow them, and those hitches, they're pretty well covered up, and the linebacker is on the running back. So when you see the safeties pop up like that, you got to think, oh, cover 2 zone or cover 2 man. But both of those coverages can be beat with a post route. If you get something that goes to the post, or a high-low over the middle, can beat it. Because a lot of times the user will use the linebacker over the middle. So if you do something like a post, but then a dig under it, or a drag, you can have pretty good over the middle success, right? There's other ways to beat it, but I'm just saying how to beat consistently both the cover 2's man and the cover 2 zone. So when you see those 2 safeties drop, hey, maybe you're going to think, if you picked a play anyway that has something over the middle, maybe look towards that, depending on, your play, right? But you see those safeties drop, sometimes it's actually the man coverage, and we'll get to something similar when we do a cover 3. So we're still going to do the, making sure I had the cover 4 shell, that wasn't up there, so it confused me. We'll do the cover 6 and cover 9. I'm going to try to go through this quick. All right, so let's do the cover 3 buzz match. And we'll do that same play we've been doing. Hitch seam here.
1-1, ready?
All right, so here, again, it looks like a cover 4. But when you watch the safeties, when you see one of them start to head towards the middle of the field and one of them drop down, you know that you either have a cover 3, a cover 3 match, or a cover 1, which is a man coverage. So when you see that, you should look to your next clue to see if it's zone or man, right? So when you see one of the safeties roll to the top, one of them come down, next thing you might want to do is maybe look at the corner to see if the corners are just dropping back. If they're just dropping back, then it's zone. If you have a route that's going to beat a cover 3 zone, cover 3 match there, go to that route. Look for that. If it's man, where the corners are actually coming down to man up on your receiver on the outside, well, then you know you got man. You got a route that beats cover 1 man, or man coverage in general. Look to that route. So when we snap the ball here,
Sahad.
and then we'll go to the replay to really take a look at it.
Get set.
The safety on the right starts to come to the middle and go up, and the other safety starting to come down. All right, now you know you got to cover 3 or cover 1, right? And since this is cover 3 match, you're going to have what appears to be man coverage. Because those outside guys, they didn't stay back, right? They came down because they'll man match. So that's where the cover 3 match is actually a pretty good coverage, because you're not quite sure if it's zone or man, and you got to figure out, what do I do to beat this? But you can see here, since the safety on this side dropped, this safety has to hurry up and get towards the middle. He has him beat. If you throw a good pass to this guy right there, you got it, right? So let's back out of this. We'll show you in man. It's going to look quite similar because that was a match cover 3. So let's go to a cover 1 here. We'll do the cover 1 hole. We won't have the safety zone. We'll do a linebacker zone. All right.
I'm
Whoops.
1. Ready?
I accidentally picked a run play. It's audible here. 4 verts.
11, 11, 11.
All right. Same thing here. I did a bluff. I bluffed myself on that. So we got a cover 1 man, but it appears to be a cover 4, right? We snap the ball, let it play out. So then we can go to the replay here.
I'm 1.
Now here's a little bit of a trick here. You see that safety start to come up and over to the top, but you see this safety doesn't quite drop down. That can be a key hint that they're doing a man coverage, right? Because if this safety does not come down and do the zone like he did on that last play I did, then that's a clue they're doing man, right? So you saw that safety drop back. You see the other one. What does he do? He kind of comes down, but he ends up not really dropping, and he goes into man coverage. But you see, the trick comes in when you do a cover 1 robber. We have one here. Nope, we'll have to change formations here. There we go. We got a cover 1 robber press. Let's go to that. Go to the hitch
I'm
scene.
1. Ready?
Let's hurry up and hike. Just throw the ball because we don't really care.
I'm 1. Ready?
Let's go to replay. So this is a cover 1 robber. So you see, this time the opposite safety, he's going back into the middle. You got this safety coming really, like, right over the middle, like he's coming far down. You know, there's your key that, hey, this might not be a cover 3, this might be a cover 1, because that when that safety, like you see him, if he stays back, if he comes down and he covers somebody, you know it's a cover 1 man. If he rushes down like this, you know he's coming down in the middle zone because there's nobody else zoning on this play, right? But if he comes down like right about here, and he kind of hangs around, then it's most likely a cover 3, and he's coming down into a hook zone. But on the cover 1 robber, he comes down as like a 3 receiver hook, I think. Let's come out and take a look here. Yes, see, he's in a 3 receiver hook. But when he's in the actual cover 3, he's in a hook zone. So he doesn't come that far over the middle, right? So when you see the safety run down like that far, good clue, it's a man coverage. If he goes after a receiver, man coverage. But if he comes down just into a hook zone, you know that you got a cover 3 zone, but it might be match, which turns it into basically man coverage. But you might have different plays you like to use against that. But that's how you would read that. When one safety starts to drop back and go over the middle, the other one comes down. You watch the one that comes down. What does he do? If he comes down slightly, like I said, into the hook zone, you know you got a cover 3 zone, but it may be match. So take that into consideration. And if he comes all the way down, you've got a cover 1 robber, right? And if he comes and he goes after a receiver, you know you got a cover 1 man as well, right? A cover 1 hole there, right? So that's how you read it post snap. Now let's look at a couple other coverages here that can be a little more tricky, like the cover 6 to cover 9, and I think a cover 3 cloud can be a little tricky as well, because it can look like a cover 6 or cover 9, but it's not. So we'll go over that one last. So let's look at the cover 6 here. Now the cover 6 is basically going to have, generally, if you have auto flip on, the cover 4 side of the coverage is going to be to the strong side, so where there is 3 or more receivers, and the cover 2 side will be on the weak side of the passing, where there's 1 or 2 receivers, and the cover 9 is flipped, where the cover 4 side will be where there's 1 or 2 receivers, and the cover 2 side is where there's 3 or more receivers. Generally, that's how it's going to line up. So it doesn't matter if it's cover 6 or cover 9. We can just use one to show you what to look for in both of these. And this is why you got to look at both safeties, not just one, right? So let's just snap the ball, throw the pick. Let's just hit the dirt. Instant replay here. This one might be a little harder to tell because we're doing the streak that goes right at that safety right here. And he ends up covering him. But you see how this safety, he just kind of hangs out right here. That's letting you know he's basically in his cover 4, right? Because that's how the cover 4 is. They generally stay in that same area that they start off in. He just moves a couple back steps to the side and back. He's kind of waiting to see what happens, right? Because he's also in a run fit, right? But this other safety, you see he's dropping back. He's kind of dropping outside, but not too much, because that's a receiver coming right at him. And if that receiver wasn't coming right at him, he'd probably drop more to the sidelines. But you see how as soon as you say hike, if you're looking to the left, man, the stick didn't want to work there for a second. You might think, okay, we're in a cover 2 zone, cover 2 man. But this safety, he's not dropping back. So you see how it can catch you off guard. And if you're vice versa, if you're only focusing on that safety, you're like, oh, cover 4, right? But this safety's dropping back, right? So that's why you got to watch both safeties. Even when they spread out, when one doesn't go over the middle and one comes down, you still have to watch both, because somebody might throw a cover 6 or cover 9 at you. So when you see one of them stay down like that, one of them drop back, you got yourself cover 2 to this side, cover 4 to this side. So if you have some play that can beat a cover 4 over here, fantastic. If you got something that can beat a cover 3 over here, awesome, right? And so that's that, right? Pretty easy. But like again, if you look at the pre-snap formation, it looks like a cover 4. That's why you can't just base the coverage off of what you see here, because right here you might pick a cover 4 beater. But if you pick your cover 4 beater to be to the left side of the field, well, come to find out, that's actually a cover 2 side. And you're like, crap, I don't have a route on the other side that can beat the cover 4, right? So people that will disguise their coverages by doing something like that, right? So let's look how this can trick you when you're used to somebody using the cover 6, cover 9, but then they come out in a cover 3 cloud. Let's see if we have one in this formation. Doesn't look like we do. Alright, we'll have to go to different formation. Let's see if we got one here. There we go, cover 3 cloud. Now this one might catch you off guard because not a lot of people will use this, but if you mix this with the uh, cover 6 and some other coverages,
Here we go. Here we go.
it can really, it can get you. Because you watch how the safeties will react much differently. Alright, so we got the cloud flat to the right of the screen. I just wanted to make sure where that was. Nice hands, feet.
On 2. Ready?
Alright, so instant replay here. This one can be a little tricky because if you're looking at this safety and you see him go back like that, he kind of looks like he's going into a cover 2 zone or a cover 2 man, right? So if you're watching him, you might think that. You might actually think that. But then if you're watching over here, you might think this is a normal cover 3. That's again why I say you got to watch both safeties. So if you watch, both of them are going to the same side, right? They're, one of them is going up into the middle of the field, the other one's going up into the sideline. Okay, you got yourself the cloud. And why that's important is because if you watch over here and you think you got a cover 3, and you pick your play that beats a cover 3 over here, well, it may not actually do the trick because this cloud really changes how things are covered over here, right? It really changes it up quite a bit. And when you mix this in with the cover 6 and the cover 9, and you're looking at the safeties, this might throw you for a loop when you first see it. Like, what are these guys doing, right? Because this is something that's rarely mixed in. So it's something you should practice against just in case you see it. You're like, oh, I know what to do here. And hopefully you have some routes that can beat it on whatever play you pick there. But I think that is basically it on how to look at the coverages. Keep in mind, there's people who will change their coverages, like they'll come out in the cover, like the Tampa 2, for example. We got the Tampa 2 contain over there, and they'll turn it into the Tampa 3, right? And we'll take a look at that, I guess, to show you. Oh, crap. I can't show you right there because I
Here
have
we
to go
go.
to the adjustments. So I don't think I can do that with this one. Oh, no, I can. Outside third. Outside third. Let me look at the play. Alright. We'll go to the linebackers and we'll do the middle third. Show play art. So there, we got something like that. Again, you watch the safeties, you should know what they're doing here. Right? When you see the safeties drastically go to the outside and back, right? What did I just do?
Dad!
Oh yeah, because of the play I picked. I was wondering why all that motion. Let's go to the replay here.
Gun, gun. Dad!
Crap! Hopefully the replay is still there. There we are. Alright. So let's come over here. The safeties are very spread out, which is a good sign of like a cover 2. But you see how they go real drastic to the outside, and that middle linebacker is starting to go deep. Then you know that they're doing the Tampa 3, right? A coverage a lot of people like to use. And when they do that, it's I guess it's something you ought to do when you see the safeties drop back like that. Kind of looks like a cover two, but they're kind of drastically spread out there. So when you see that, be like, okay, this is different. Then you might want to look at the middle linebacker. Sometimes the users use it on them, and they're not quite dropping back. But when you see that, practice against this. Because a lot of people like to use the Tampa 3. They'll do the adjustments to have that. And when you do, when you see this, you'll know where to go with the ball. Because this might confuse you. You see this kind of coverage because it's different. The safety's going way out there. You may think, oh, cover two-ish looking, right? So even if it's man or zone, but the fellas dropping back, those linebackers, this is zone. I'm going to attack the middle of the field here. But this guy, he's going to go back. Let's actually find a play where that happens. Let's go back to the Tampa 2 contain. Let's pick a play that has a post. Alright, I guess we'll go to a different formation. I don't want one of those ones that take a while to develop. I guess we'll just do the hitches and we will put a post on one of those guys.
Here we go.
Alright. So, give me a second here.
Here we go. 11, 11, 11, 11. 12, 12, 12.
Alright, so we got that set up, so now let's set up our safeties. Put him on the outside third, linebacker, middle third. Now, even when you're not usering, he'll drop back pretty good, and I'll show you that here. So we're thinking, oh, we look at the safeties, we think cover two-ish, so we're going to try to hit, what is his name there? Wow, I don't know how to say that. We're going to try to hit that guy, triangle, because he's doing a post. But check out how this plays out. Oops.
Shot.
Oh, it actually worked out. He got underneath him. But normally, you might be thinking to throw it a little bit deeper, right? Because that's usually what you do against the cover two or whatever. But that linebacker gets back there pretty well. You saw how quick he was back there. That the post route went underneath him. He was so far back. We look at that replay. So yeah, if you try to throw it up, trying to get into this area where you normally attack that coverage, he's there. It just so happens that it went underneath him, right? But a lot of times the user, they will be this guy anyway. Sometimes they'll pick one of these other guys off to the side who are in a vert hook, right? But yeah, I think that's everything. Now, if people do some other things, that's a little bit different. I guess there's one other coverage, but it's kind of hard to tell when they go to it. Let's see if we have it. I think it's like something like a cover 6 Willie is what it's called. Let's see if I got it in this playbook here. Uh, let's try over here. Might have had one in the big nickel, so we'll check that. Go to big nickel. Dang. Looks like I don't have it there. Maybe in dime. It's gonna suck if I can't show it to you. I might have to manually do it. Which I think we'll do right here. Let's just do a cover 6. Go in the hitches here.
Here we go, here we go.
So basically, you see how we got a cover 2 to one side, cover 4 to one side? Well, when they come out in the cover 6 Willie, what they do is it's actually not a cover 2 to one side. It's actually a cover 2 man to one side and a cover 4. Right? So it looks similar. Right? So it's something, it could throw you for a loop because you might think it's a normal cover 6 or cover 9, right? Depending on how it is. So you hike the ball, you look at the safeties, and you think cover 2 zone, but you'll notice everything's pretty well covered
Here we go.
on that play anyway. So this safety you see on the right stays down and in there. He's doing his cover 4 thing, but this guy's dropping back kind of outside. Not as drastic as doing the cover 3, going to the far outside third. So you see, oh, cover 2, you might think they're doing a cover 6, but then this guy's covered very, very well. This guy's manned up. If you threw it quick to this hitch, I suppose you could have done it. And over here is a cover 4. That guy's doubled. He's bracketed. He's covered pretty well. Your only bet was probably the running back, but he did a little hitch. But yeah, that one might throw you through a loop if you're not expecting it, but practice against it. Cover 6, cover 6 Willie. What do you do when you play against a cover 6, and what should you do when it's changes on you? Now it's a cover 6 Willie, where there's man coverage instead of a zone coverage. And that is basically that. Watch the safeties. So there's your pre-snap, which I'm assuming you already know. If you don't know your pre-snap, how they look, you can look that up. Plenty of people have made videos on how to read the coverage pre-snap. But people will disguise it. Where all these formations I showed you, the base that you see here, looks like a cover 4. But each coverage was actually different. Right? Here's a cover 6 Willie. I've turned this into the cover 3, cover 2, man, and zone. Right? Turned it into different coverages, but it all looked the same pre-snap. And there's a lot of people who will do that. They'll put their base coverage to look like a cover 4 or a cover 2. Rarely they'll do something like a cover 3, which is a little weird, but some people may do that. And that one might throw you through a loop. I guess I can go over that because this is something that's rare. It's kind of weird because it puts your people out of position. I gotta back up and go back in. Alright, let's put the shell to a cover. I can't do cover 3. What about here? Alright, cover 3. Let's do something weird here. Let's do a cover 4 palms. This is not something, I'm going over it just to go over it. But you're not really going to see this. See how this doesn't even look like a real cover 3. Right? But it looks kind of like it. It looks like the safety to the right, he's going to drop back and deep over the middle. Right? And it looks like the safety who is playing in the slot there, as if he's going to, drop back into his little zone because this is a cover 3. Kind of looks like it, but not really. Right? But if you watch the safeties, that's not how it played out at all.
On one, ready?
I don't know how much time I have, so I'm going to go through quick here. So if we did that same thing with a cover 2, where do we get a cover 2? There we go, cover 2. You get the same safety look with a cover 2 zone with a cover 2 man. So this one looks more like a cover 3. This one you might actually think cover 3, right? But this is not a cover 3. Right? But you watch that safety, and he goes way out to that side. Then you might get an idea something's up. Like this safety who's supposed to drop back over the middle, all of a sudden he's screaming off to one side. This is not cover 3. Right?
Gun.
And
God.
we'll do a cover 6 because that will cover whether it's a cover 6 Willie or a cover 9. But you'll see this as well if you want to try to make this look like a cover 3. This one actually looks again like a cover 3.
Here we go.
But this one might trick you even more because you might think cover 2 or something by watching that safety over the middle.
God.
Alright, he comes down a little bit, so you get an idea. Alright, cover 4. But it's not a cover 4, it's a cover 6, because that other safety just kept going deep. Right? So, I guess mixing a cover 3 in here to disguise the other coverages, it can really put you out of position, because that safety, who's supposed to be deep, he is way low. Right? So he's real out of position. Real out of position. That can actually hurt you on defense, but it can cause confusion, and sometimes that's what wins the play, is that your opponent is confused on what he's seeing and what to do. And that's going to cause him to either hold onto the ball and take a sack, maybe a strip sack, maybe he tries to scramble, he goes out of bounds, he has to throw it away, or he gets hit again, or he tries to run it. Or a lot of people, they'll force the ball in somewhere and it's broken up or intercepted. So this is normally what you wouldn't see, though. A lot of people using a cover 3 shell and then picking plays out of that. It doesn't seem all too practical. A coverage just came to my mind, which I feel like I should bring up. Let's change the shell to our cover 4 again. Go cover 2 man. This is called Pounder.
Here we go.
Cover 5 here, man coverage, except you take the safeties here, and you can't do it here in this coverage here because this is the big nickel. Alright, I have to choose a different formation. Let's go over here. Oops. I didn't mean to do packages. I meant to do the cover 4 and then cover 2 man.
On one, ready?
So you have this here. We'll go to the first safety and we'll put him on inside quarter. We go to the second safety, we put him on inside quarter. So when you look at the safeties, you're going to think cover 4. This might trick you. Alright? Because you're sitting here looking at the pre-snap, it looks like a cover 4. When you snap the ball, the safeties play as if it's a cover 4. Right? They stay in that little area. And it's actually man coverage. Right?
Here we go.
And that could mess you up. Not a lot of people do that one, though. But it came to me at the end here, so I figured I'd show you that. Some people, they trick you. They throw things at you when they realize you're watching the safeties. They can do things like that. Right? Especially like in the red zone. When you do a cover 2 man in the red zone, you don't need those safeties playing deep. Right? So doing pounder in the red zone is fantastic. Because when you put, I don't know if it'll show up on the play art, but these safeties here, I forgot how to do run fits. How do you look at the run fit? I don't remember. Doesn't tell you here. That's unfortunate. So if I go to play art, there's no like, man, I don't remember how to look at the run fits. Oh, there we go. Okay, we don't see it here. It doesn't show up. But these guys will come down. Let's pick a run play. See if we got one in the audibles here. We'll do quick
12,
base.
12, 12.
So we'll notice that the safeties will come down. Actually, they actually didn't. Alright, so I guess when you audible to it, they
Here we
will
go, here we
not
go.
play the run. Let's get the replay to show you. I assumed they would because that job in the inside quarter is to help with the run. But no, both of them drug back. So, yeah, they didn't jump in the run fit, which is unfortunate. But another thing to do in the red zone. What did I just do? I think I did off. Is to take these safeties and put them in something like a hook curl or something, because you don't need them to play back, right? And that's another thing. When you snap the ball here, you see the safeties kind of stay put like that. It may look like a cover 4 again, but they let the people run by them because they're playing something underneath. That's why I was saying you don't need them to do that inside the red zone, right? So the safeties, that's how you tell the coverage post snap. You watch the safeties, right? Pre-snap, this looks like, again, cover 4, but it's not, right? You watch the safeties. So that is that. Thank you so much for watching, and I gotta warn you, Jesus is coming back soon. It's fun playing football and football games, and the season coming up. It's exciting, but it's all ultimately a distraction, because all this fun we're having could end at any time. So you might want to make sure that your soul is saved. I can't just do this video and entertain you without warning you that you don't know when your time is up. And from looking at things going on around the world with Israel, and they're working on a peace deal with the nations around them so that they can establish building the third temple and offer up their sacrifice to get the temple sacrifices going again. We're nowhere heading into biblical end times. Prophecies are coming to pass. They're right on the verge of happening. So you best get right with God now while you can. Because though these things are fun, you gotta have fun in moderation. Right? Get into this stuff in moderation. Because all this is temporary. Right? If you grow to be old, none of this is gonna matter. And if you were to die today, God forbid, none of this matters. Come to Jesus today. It'd be the best thing you ever did. So, thank you so much for watching. If you're not saved, get saved. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.